suspected murderer Victor Hernandez, this guy right here, arrested in the brutal August 2023 rape and murder of 37-year-old mother of 5, Rachel Morin. Hernandez was arrested in Tulsa, Oklahoma at a bar last weekend. He has now been extradited to Maryland, where he will stand trial. Hernandez, of course, entered the U.S. illegally in February of last year after being accused of murder in his native El Salvador, but he had no problem crossing our southern border and making his way 1,800 miles north to rural Bel Air, Maryland. The result of his alleged actions: 5 children, ages 8 to 18 years old, no longer have their mother. And President Joe Biden has yet to say her name publicly or contact her family or her mother, Patty Morin, who is joining us now. Patty, it is so nice to have you on this morning. We really appreciate your time. Can you tell us how your 5 grandkids are doing? I can't imagine how difficult this must be for you, but also for them.
I haven't had recent contact with them, but I can tell you that they are having a hard time because their mom was their life, and she had a close relationship with them, and I'm sure that they have a support system in place with their dads and with counseling, but this is going to be a long time of healing for them, because as they grow and mature, they're going to reprocess this grief all over again.
Yeah.
So just pray for them.
Absolutely. How are you?
Today I'm not too good. They brought the suspect in. I'm sure the world saw that it was on TV. And since then, knowing that he's in the same county that I'm in and next town over has just made me feel really sick to my stomach. And last night I couldn't even sleep. I was up all night actually looking through photo albums of my daughter. And remembering when she was a little girl, and whenever she was very sensitive, and whenever she felt afraid, she would just come run and jump and sit in my lap so she could feel safe. And I was just thinking, I'm not going to be able to hug her anymore. And it was just a very sad moment. So
I can't imagine.
Sorry.
No, you don't. Please, you don't apologize for anything, Patty. You don't apologize for anything. And go ahead.
And I was going to say, and I realized that this grief kind of like goes up and down. And but just since he's been back in the state, it's just been emotionally hard for me.
I can't imagine what this week has been like for you since the arrest over the weekend. You know, that the peaks and valleys of the emotions that you're forced to relive. I can't imagine, and my heart goes out to you, and I applaud you for your courage and all the interviews that you've done throughout the week. I am amazed and wowed by your courage. I know you've been asked this before, but I am stunned if the answer is still no. Have you heard anything? Maybe not Joe Biden, but anyone in the administration. Has anyone reached out to you just to offer condolences?
No, I have not personally been contacted by anybody. I was told that something was written on a little blurb was written on their website, but I don't frequent social media, so I don't even know what was said, if anything was said, but no one's personally reached out to me. And as far as I know, no one from the White House has reached out to anyone in my family.
My goodness. What would your message be, not to the administration, but to Joe Biden himself, the president that really has allowed all this to happen?
I would say consider your actions and consider the consequences of your actions. Because at some point, if you're doing it deliberately, the consequences and the blood from it is on your shoulders and on those that allow you to do it. But also consider the American people. The government is there to protect us. And if you're not doing that, how can we trust our government? I'm trying not to be political because I don't want to take a side one way or the other. And I realize that in one sense this is a political issue just because of the wave of crime that has come over our whole country. But I want people to see that it's more than just a left or a right policy. It's more than that. It's about life and death, and that we should put the lives of American citizens first. That's the duty of government, to protect us. That's why we elect government officials. And I would just say, just consider your actions and the consequences that you're allowing to happen.
I think you put that perfectly. I know that Donald Trump reached out to you. He, of course, is running for president again. And after that brief phone call that you had with the former president, you said, quote, "I'm deeply touched by President Trump's kindness and concern. He was genuine and truly wanted to know how our family was coping." And he asked about Rachel, and he showed honest compassion for her untimely death. Did it seem like it was political when he called you, or did it seem like it was, one parent who might be running for president calling a parent who's going through just a tremendous amount of heartache and tragedy right now?
No, my first thought was, is this political? But when I actually spoke to him on the phone, he was like your next door neighbor who's checking in on you and making sure that you're okay. And is there anything they can do to help? And he really did show a genuine concern for our family and a genuine concern in wanting to know more about Rachel so he could understand, in part, the tragedy that we're experiencing. So because of his authenticity, I really appreciate the phone call. It was very gracious of him because he didn't have to do that, but he took the time. And so I just appreciate it.
Yeah. How long did that phone call last?
I'd say about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But that's just me guesstimating. It was a long conversation, but it was a good conversation.
That's longer than I would.
He's very.
That's longer.
I was
going to
say he's
guess,
very
Patty.
intelligent. It was very engaging.
Oh, well, I'm glad, Patty. I'm glad to hear
Yeah.
that. Alejandro Mayorkas is our impeached DHS secretary. I was going to play the soundbite. I'm not going to play it just because I'd rather continue talking with you. But he tried to make your daughter. He was asked over on CNN. Jim Acosta was the anchor, and he tried to make your daughter this faceless, nameless victim. He called her an individual and eventually called her a mother. I don't think he knew her name. And she was her life was taken allegedly by somebody who crossed his southern border illegally. What was your reaction to that?
I was not shocked, just because of how this administration has been dealing with things. But I was really concerned that they didn't give human value to my daughter, that she was so depersonalized that it was almost as if, it's a commodity like bad fruit that you throw away or something.
Right.
And that he didn't speak to her as if her life had value. And to me, that's very concerning.
Yeah, it is to me too. Patty, I appreciate you so much, and thank you so much for coming on this morning. I hope your days get brighter and better. We're thinking about Rachel. We're thinking about your 5 grandbabies, ages 8 to 18, and we're not going to forget Rachel. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you, sir.